I'm gonna be done carrying until further notice. So in this week's video, we're gonna be talking about why I stopped carrying a gun, but first I need to go grab some coffee and introduce you to the dog I'm hanging out with today. Okay, coffee, puppy. So if you don't know already, I started carrying a gun about a year and a half ago, and I can't honestly remember if I was like 2 or 3 weeks in or if I was 2 or 3 months in when I decided to stop carrying after I had already started. Pause for just a sec. I need to go put my hair up because it's way too hot in this house. Okay, we're back. So upon thinking about it a little bit more, I'm pretty sure I was 3 weeks into concealed carry when I decided that I was not going to continue concealed carrying, and I started leaving my gun at home. And I actually remember the exact moment, and I remember thinking to myself, I'm going to go home and I'm going to take this gun off, I'm gonna unload it and put it in the safe, and I'm gonna be done carrying until further notice. So I was standing in line at a grocery store, and there was this guy probably 10 feet away from me at the next checkout stand. And I kind of made like a mental note that he seemed off to me. And if you're kind of getting into the world of concealed carry and self-defense, you might have kind of put yourself in a situation where you've thought, I wonder what is going on around me in my daily life that might actually turn into a self-defense situation. So maybe you are out at the grocery store and you're thinking, okay, what if there was an active shooter? Or maybe you're with your kids and you're thinking, oh, how would I protect my child? What would I do with this and this and this? You kind of start to think through this process, and that's where I was. I was probably carrying for about 3 weeks, and I was thinking, this person seems sketchy. I wonder what would happen if they got a gun out and they pointed at the clerk and they asked them for money out of the register. And I was like, what would I do? Would I draw my gun? Would that be a good idea? Would I be able to shoot quickly enough? What if they were pointing it at me? What's behind him? And that's what really got me in that moment, was I looked at this guy and I looked what was beyond him. And I realized that there was, like a staff office where, the staff of that grocery store would have their meals or whatever. And I thought, there's people on the other side of this guy. Whether or not I can see them or not, on the other side of him, there's people. And then beyond that is a parking lot. That's what scared me into not carrying anymore. So I got scared into carrying because I felt that the world around me was not a safe place. And I felt that I needed to have a force multiplying tool on me so that I could stop someone else from imparting their will on me. And then I stopped carrying because I realized that, and I think that this was a correct assessment, that I was not prepared mentally or even knowledgeably. I don't know if you can use that word that way. I didn't have a clue. And I realized that in that moment, and I did go home and I did take my gun off and I didn't carry for a few weeks. I think it might have even been like 2 months. And during those 2 months, I took the time to start training. And I don't know that I was ready to start carrying again when I finally did start carrying again, but I was a lot more ready the second go round than I was the first go round. And when I started carrying again for that second time, I came to it with a lot more confidence, and I came to it with a lot more understanding. And I would say that I still have a ton to learn. I feel that I'm a safe concealed carrier, but that doesn't mean that I don't still have heaps and heaps of things to learn. And that's why I'm continuing to seek out training. It kind of reminds me of like nurses and people in the medical field, and probably lots of other fields, I guess. I just think of that because my mom's a nurse. She's been the resuscitation specialist in a labor and delivery unit for probably over 20 years now. but she still has to learn how to resuscitate babies every year. She still has to go to classes and learn the new things and keep up those practices and keep them working well, because guess what? Life is on the line. Her job directly correlates to somebody living or dying. And it's not the same thing, but carrying guns and interacting with firearms is life or death. Like, let's just be real here. It's a really, really, really big responsibility, and we don't really get to take it lightly. At least we shouldn't take it lightly. And so that's why I think it's really important for myself and really anyone else out there who's a firearms owner and concealed carrier to continue to get training and continue to grow in their journey and their understanding of firearms and how to handle them safely. There's not really any end to growing and training and learning how to be proficient with the firearm. So the reason that I thought to tell you guys a story today is because a friend of mine recently had something happen with her concealed carry setup. I don't know how long ago she started carrying, but something happened with her holster in a public place, and something happened. I'm not going to tell the story, but it scared her, and rightfully so. It scared her, and she decided that she didn't want to continue carrying because she didn't feel like she had a safe way to do it, and she didn't feel like she really understood for herself how she wanted to kind of tackle concealed carry and how she wanted to figure out how to do it safely. And she decided, I'm just gonna set this down for right now. She just doesn't feel like she has headspace for that right now. And I have so much respect for people who are willing to realize that, hey, I'm not in a place to really be able to tackle this and do this well right now. And I think that we've kind of established that concealed carry and gun ownership, carrying a gun in general, all of those things are really important, but they're also a really, really big responsibility that we shouldn't be taking lightly. And if we're not ready to do them safely and we're not ready to do them well, it's okay for us to just put that on pause for right now and pick it up when we have time to invest into that process and learning how to do it well. Honestly, this is a topic that I've vaguely touched on in the past, and it really, really gets people up in arms. So I'm sorry if I offended you in today's video, but honestly, I think it's really important that we treat concealed carry and gun ownership with a lot of respect, and that we tackle it with a sober mind, and we do it really, really well, because the risk is there, and when we take it on and we're not ready to take it on, our risk of hurting ourselves or hurting someone else goes up. This is actually really good. Okay. I honestly don't really have a way to end this video. I kind of wanted to just tell you guys that story and tell you guys that it's okay if you're not ready to start carrying yet, or if you've started carrying and you don't feel like you're doing it in a way that you would like to. It's totally okay to set that down and pick it up when you're ready to do that.
Say bye.